I'm an alumni of UWO many years ago. Amanda was before me, Amanda Aikens. She graduated well before me, so she's much older. It's my older sister. No, we can say that. We graduated at the same time, went to school together. It's a pleasure to be in this beautiful space, and it's a pleasure to be here today to celebrate the great achievement of the students who are graduating and completing this portion of their life, right? It's just a portion of your life, much more yet to achieve, much more yet ahead of you. And so this morning, before we begin, we have the Eagle Flight Singers from right here in London, Ontario. They're going to open us up with a traditional opening song to give us that drum, to remind us of where we come from, our heartbeat, our Mother Earth. So with that, I'll turn it over to Eagle Flight at this time for that opening song. Miigwech to Eagle Flight Singers. As they remind us with the sound of that drum, and as I was looking over here, I seen this spiritual dust falling from the ceiling. It was drywall dust, I think, coming down from there. That's how new the building is. At this time, though, we want to welcome one of our esteemed elders from the Wawiatunung area, an auntie of mine. We come from the same Dodem. She is my clan mother, clan grandmother, clan auntie, clan mother. She is from the Bikajunong territory, and she has been doing great work here at the university, helping students for many years, providing that guidance, providing that spiritual counseling guidance, whatever it is the students might be looking for, that grounding that they might need at that time. So we want to welcome to give us these opening words and open our prayer of Thanksgiving today, Miss Myrna Kiknoswe.
Chibigrad bindige. Monabajon and the way Maganaduk, Ishkote Marcus and Quandis the cause Mondo dem. Bekajanan Dunjaba. Budawadami Odawa Nishnabi Quanda, Nisvi, Medaman. And I also want to include, I have my spirit name is Fire Moccasin Woman, and that's from my nation. But I'm also known as, you can't hear me. Good. India, what did I do?
No, just hold it closer.
Closer. Is this better? Oh, you want me to start all over? No. Okay. When I introduced myself, my spirit name is Fire Moccasin Woman, and I'm from the Loon clan. The Loon comes from my dad. He's a Budawadami. My mother, she's Crane clan, which is Jajuk, and she's an Odawa. And I live up at Kedron territory. I belong to the Three Fires Medewan Lodge, and I'm third degree Medewan. But I also would like to acknowledge 50 years ago when I came here to do some studying here at Shaxley in this place where we are now in Alta House College, I became acquainted with a couple from Oneida. And I would visit them, and they would take me places and different things like that over a period of time. So they gave me a name in Oneida, and I hope I can say it correctly. It's Skaliwat. That's one mind. And I think that's very appropriate because I'm strong-willed like my mother. And sort of don't tell me what to do kind of idea. So I thought it was very appropriate, and I think it's very appropriate that I can talk to you about that name here, because this is where I met the individual, and him and his wife are now passed. I haven't been in touch with their sons. I haven't seen them for a long time. But I'd just like to acknowledge that. And I guess I'd like to acknowledge all of you that are here, that are representing this school in this place and coming through these doors. It's a tremendous honor for me to be here. And I looked at the guest list here, and there's some people I know and some people I don't know, which is okay, because I don't know everything and I don't know everybody. And so that's really important to understand. We're all here to learn, we're all here to share, and we're all here to live the life in the best way we can. And that's part of who we are as the original people of this land. And with all the changes that are going on in the last few years, it's important that we understand where we come from. That will help us decide where we're going to go and bring up those gifts we were intended to carry into this creation. And also to remind you that you always need that place of knowing that's inside, and that's where creation came from, the four colors of man. That's where Gajamnado, in my understanding of it, placed us here with those original instructions. And that's part of our journey to do those things. So those are just my thoughts at this moment, but I'd like to start us with an opening prayer. I always encourage people to ground themselves when they're anywhere where they're doing their work, even when you're doing your reports, your papers, whatever. But put your feet flat on the ground. That's your connection to the earth. Even though we are in a building, the earth is still underneath this building. And as we take a few moments to acknowledge all of creation, you look at your connection. And in this moment, in these few moments, I encourage you to remember how to breathe. Because our people, all people of the world, have been impacted by colonization. And with that impact, we've forgotten how to breathe. We no longer breathe with that breath when we first came here, when Spirit gave us that breath. We don't breathe all the way down to here. And that's something that's really important that we all do. So I encourage you while I do this opening prayer to do that kind of breathing. Breathe in the positive things of creation, because it's there for us, and then blow out your mouth the negative things that are blocking you from moving forward. It's very important, especially now with the world changing and where we are at as the original people of this land. There's a lot of learning that needs to happen, and there's a lot of unlearning or changing our purpose in life. So just provide that. Abashomashomas. Ishkote makasan kwan disnakas mandodem. Vakachanan dojaba. Budawadami odawa nashabi kwanda. Niswi, Medema. Oh, Chimigwach Kashem Nado, for this most beautiful day, for this most wonderful life. Chimigwach, for giving all this beauty that's around us right now. Just enjoy all those things you see and all those things you cannot see. For the wind, the rain, the ice, the snow, the rocks, and the fire, the four-legged, the two-legged, the winged ones that fly in the air, things that crawl on the earth, things that swim in the water. I say Chimigwach to you. Chimigwach, for the sun that travels around in the sky during the day, for the moon that travels on the sky during the night, for our earth, our most precious earth. She's the one that provides that sustenance for all of us, from the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the food we eat. I say, Mommy Gwendam, I'm so grateful for everything that she does provide. I'm grateful for the four colors of man, the yellow, the red, the black, and the white. I say, Chimigwach Kashem Nado, for placing us all here on this beautiful creation and giving us those original instructions, how to live as one heart, one body, one mind, one soul, and one spirit. I say Chimigwach to you for that special gift. Chimigwach for the spiritual leaders around the world, for their songs, their ceremonies, their drums, the shakers, all of those things, all of those words, the kindness, the messages from Spirit. I say Chimigwach to you. Chimigwach for the ancient ones. We're here a long, long time ago, since the beginning of time, all those ones who were placed here and provided all the sustenance that we need from that kind of level. You know, the first sound, the first of everything that the Creator put here, that was for all of us. And for the ones that were coming behind us, we were placed here, all of us. For all the children, that we may encourage them to live a whole life, connected in body, mind, spirit, and soul to this creation, so that we can walk together as one heart, one body, one mind, one soul, one spirit, and to follow our original instructions. I say Chimigwach to you. Have a wonderful day. Aho. Miigwech.
Miigwech Myrna. I always loved Myrna's Anishinaabe name, the fire moccasin woman. And if you ever seen Myrna dance back in her heyday, you would know why they called her, why she received that name, Fire Moccasin Woman, because she could really dance. With those opening words, I want to acknowledge how special of an opportunity this is, even for myself, to be here to participate in an Indigenous graduation ceremony here at Western. When I graduated many moons ago, and again, Amanda, many moons before that, I got to pick on somebody through the day, so somebody has to be the brunt of. But when we graduated, there was no Indigenous ceremonies. There was no Indigenous graduations. I don't even remember being invited to my graduation. I think they just wanted me out of here, just so they could send me those pieces of mail asking me for money. I was like, I don't have any money. I'm broke. I have a res job. But I think if we had a ceremony like this, it would have been much more meaningful, and I would have participated in that. And so I really appreciate that the Indigenous Student Services, along with the Wampum Lodge and all of the other departments here at the university, have put this together so that we have a truly meaningful graduation ceremony. I know people will want to still go to the big ceremony and, have your gown and cap and all of those things, but this with your community is what education, Indigenous education is, right? And so the next speaker that we have today, I met this lady on a conference call. Before we had Zoom, before we had video calls and all of those things. And I don't know if she remembers, I wasn't talking that much on a call, but it was when she was working with the Paul Martin Foundation. And we had a call, and I remember hearing her voice, and I was like, oh, this lady has such a most unique voice, a very memorable voice. And so at this time, I want to welcome Dr. Christy Brzett, Vice Provost, Associate Vice President, Indigenous Initiatives for Western University, to give us welcoming remarks.
You don't have to stand.
I gotta find someplace to hide.
Oh, bonjour. Good to see you all. And thank you so much for remembering me way back when. And I'm really conscious of my super unique voice now. So, bonjour, everybody. Aneta no kikwe Indigenous kiko non dunjiba. Mijike Dodem, Anishinaabe Kwe Indao. So my name is Christy Brzett, and I'm from Kettle and Stony Point First Nation, from the Turtle Clan, and so happy to be here. And actually, I go back many, many more moons even before Amanda. And it's true, when we graduated back in the day here, we didn't have the lodge or a beautiful ceremony like this. It's truly, truly beautiful to have this now. I am an alumni of Western here too. I studied and really, really enjoyed my time then, but my goodness, it's so much more better now. It's so enriched. So my work here at Western is in the role of the Vice Provost and Associate Vice President for Indigenous Initiatives. So it's an inaugural role, and basically what is done with my role is to sit with other senior leaders, administrators here at Western as we do the work to decolonize and indigenize education. So it's a lot of work, it's a lot of important work, and I'm finding there are many allies here at Western. Many people realize the importance of this work and are coming together, looking for Indigenous leadership to lead the way forward, and are ready to support. So very happy for the climate that we have here at Western right now. So I'm just looking around the room. I see so many beautiful people. I see students and parents and staff and faculty and other administrators, community members, elders. Is just so wonderful, and really to have you here in this space is so important. This lodge, the Wampum Learning Lodge, is really all about being a hub, being at the center point at Western where we do this work, so it's so appropriate that we gather here today. I want to acknowledge our elder this morning and her beautiful words and her ongoing service, Myrna. You mean so very much to all of us, and we're so honored to have you here today, and for your ongoing support. We thank you, Chimigwech. And for the drum, such a beautiful, beautiful song this morning. Wow, I just was in awe, taking it all in, and to hear it in this place where the sound reverberates. So, so lovely. So what I wanted to do is just take a moment and acknowledge all of those who've gone before us. The path that we're on today has largely been forged by those who work really hard, by our ancestors who have forged a way forward. So we really want to acknowledge them, all of the work and sacrifices that they had done for us to be here is something just marvelous. And I want to acknowledge those ancestors and those people who support us in our journey, our families, our partners, our friends, each other. So very many of us come together to support one another, and we're really here to celebrate that. And we're really here to celebrate you all as graduates. This is no small feat. Being successful at school means that you had to be successful in two worlds. Walking the Indigenous path, but then also understanding non-Indigenous ways and bringing those two viewpoints and mindsets together. That is truly remarkable and not something that just anybody can do. So I really want to acknowledge your journey and also acknowledge what Bindaga had said. This is just one part of your journey. There is so much more yet ahead for you all. So we just want to honor you all today especially as we've gone through such a challenging time with having to learn from home, likely many of you have had to do in your programs, do some studying at home, but then be back here in person. That's been a challenge, but I want to acknowledge your journey in that. But most of all, I just want to thank you all for the work that you do. Thank the staff. The staff really do their very best to support you all in your work, your families. We wouldn't be able to do any of this if we had to do it alone. It really does take a team effort. So I just want to thank you all, acknowledge your great work. I wish you all the very best as you move forward in your ongoing lifelong learning journey. Just to encourage you to enjoy yourself today. Celebrate with one another as you realize that everybody here at Western and our amazing affiliated colleges really support you and wish you all the very best. So Chimigwech for your time here today, and enjoy the morning.
Miigwech, Christy. And again, I mentioned that when I first heard her voice, again, there was no such thing as Zoom. Right? There was no such thing as video conferencing back then, so you actually had conference calls, right? Real deal conference calls. Oh, thank you.
Myrna said.
I know, I had a nice spot behind here. I was hiding behind I was tall enough to hide my face behind the stole of the artwork here, so. At this time, we want to call forward our keynote speaker, and our keynote speaker this morning is Riley Kennedy, Oneida Nation of the Thames. Riley is an alumni of Western University and Brescia University College. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts, major in Community Development and minor in Indigenous Studies. He was on the Western University Senate from 2019 to 2022. During his time at Western, he was involved in the Indigenous Students Association. He participated in various programs and events throughout his time at Western. Currently, he is a student in the Master of Social Work, Indigenous Trauma and Resiliency field of study at the University of Toronto. Also currently working as a child and family counselor at Six Nations Child and Family Services. So at this time, welcome our keynote speaker, Riley Kennedy, Oneida Nation.
Thank you, friends, family, faculty, and graduates for being here today. It is an honor to come back as an alumni to welcome you all to the Western alumni community. Congratulations to the class of 2023. This is a major accomplishment, and I hope that you take the time to soak in the special moments during the last few weeks of your degrees. My name is Riley Kennedy. I graduated from Western University in 2022 with a Bachelor of Arts with a major in Community Development and a minor in Indigenous Studies. I'm a member of the Oneida Nation of the Thames. Currently, I'm living in Hamilton, Ontario with my fiance Jordan and my kitten Reese. I work as a child and family counselor with Six Nations Child and Family Services, working with Haudenosaunee people of all ages and advancing 2S LGBTQ empowerment throughout the community. Additionally, I attend the University of Toronto for the Master of Social Work in Indigenous Trauma and Resiliency field of study, studying with people from across Turtle Island. I'm a proud uncle to my nephew Paxton, who came into my life this past December and has been a gift from Creator. The Honorable Murray Sinclair said, "Education is what got us here, and it is education that will get us out." This has held true for me across my lifelong learning journey. My journey into Western, at Western, and after Western has taught me many lessons that I would like to share with you all today. My first lesson was learning to believe in myself. When I was applying to universities in my last year of high school, I knew Western was my dream school. I think I messaged the previous Indigenous recruitment officer almost weekly following up on my application. In mid-May, I had been accepted to every university except Western. I had given up on my hope to come here, and I accepted an offer to a different university. The very next day, I received an offer from Western, and you would not believe how quick I accepted that offer. Coming into my first year at Western, I was vastly underestimated the opportunities that I would have to explore what I'm capable of. Starting in November, I was a research assistant at the Center for Studies in Family Medicine and the Diabetes Alliance team. I remember thinking it was so cool to have my own cubicle. This is the first experience of research with Indigenous communities and provided a foundation for my future research experiences and first academic publication. Additionally, I became part of the Indigenous Student Association that fostered my leadership skills and belief in myself. It is through this belief in myself that I've been able to accomplish what I've accomplished over the 4 years I was at Western. My second lesson was living authentically. As a gay two-spirit person, there are many opinions about how I should look, talk, act. Something I've struggled with is changing who I am to fit what people expect of me. However, since coming to Western, I learned that I don't have to change at all, and I will still have a community where I belong. The Indigenous Student Center provided me a space to live authentically and meet me where I was at without judgment. It was through this sense of belonging that I discovered how to live authentically. My third lesson was recentering my well-being. During the summer after my third year, I was doing a full-time internship at RBC, working part-time at Nishwasagang Child Care and Family Center as a community connector, and working part-time with the Western University Students' Council as the Associate Vice President of Academics. On top of that, I was taking 3 summer courses. Looking back on it now, I have no idea how I was able to pull that off. I definitely wouldn't do it again. And I was definitely not taking care of myself. With lots of opportunities comes the dual-edged sword of having to say no to some opportunities. Unfortunately, I did not have this skill and often bit off more than I could chew. In that same summer, my best friend, Sasha Dockstader, passed away. Sasha had just graduated from her Bachelor of Arts in Indigenous Studies and was looking forward to completing her Master of Education in Curriculum and Pedagogy. Her work focused on Haudenosaunee and Indigenous astronomy, and she wanted to look at integrating Indigenous knowledge into the science curriculum. It was an honor to get to know her and her family, study with her, and support each other through our degrees. Her work is continued by her family and her colleagues. Something I have learned during my Master of Social Work has been that I don't grieve well at all. I tend to avoid it as much as I can until there is disastrous effects that I cannot ignore. When Sasha passed away, I did not take the time or do the things I needed to grieve. It wasn't until halfway through my 4th year that I was close to failing that I reached out for help. My helpers included Mandy, Myrna, and a counselor from the first episode Mood and Anxiety program at the London Health Sciences Center. Another thing that helped me was serving the community through my work at Nishwasagang Child Care and Family Center. This work gave me a sense of meaningfulness as I supported and guided the learning of Indigenous children and families. While I did not do well in my last year, I made it through by learning to recenter my well-being, which took about 1 year to do. These experiences taught me that in order to do my best work in service of my community, I need to be well. However, being well means being able to ask and receive help from others. This lesson has proved true as I began my counseling career and have been supported by a team of mentors. My 4th lesson was trusting the process. Mandy has always told me that I worry too much and that I need to focus on the present rather than the past, or rather than the future, and stressing out about the future. I did not do well finishing my last year. However, I had been accepted to the Master of Social Work at the University of Toronto based on my 3rd year grades. It's a wonderful thing that they do that. I was unable to complete my major in Indigenous Studies to obtain a double major, but I had already completed the major in Community Development. Thus, I applied to graduate from Brescia University College with a major in Community Development and a minor in Indigenous Studies. I think I was the first male to graduate from the all-women's university. It was definitely not what I expected to happen, but an honor to graduate from a school that holds the value of service to communities so close at heart. I have been part of the Brescia community since my 2nd year when I began studying community development. Then came the issue of maintaining my admission to graduate school. I messaged the university and sent them my unofficial grades. After an exhausting year, I was not sure if I even wanted to sign up for 2 more years of school. But I said that if I keep my admission and I stay in the program, then I'll just do it because that's what I'm supposed to do. So I kept my admission, and even though I was still hesitant to go to school, I did it. Reflecting back now, I know it was the right path for me. My newfound trust in the process has led me to opportunities for learning and growth. I hope that for all of you, Western has been a place where you have been able to learn both in the classroom and outside the classroom. For me, I definitely learned some hard lessons, as much as I wanted to avoid them. It is through my education at Western that I have been able to pursue further education and also give back to communities and contribute towards the healing from intergenerational trauma through my work with children and families. As some of you know, many lessons I have learned are core skills needed for being helpers in our communities. The lessons I have learned through my Western journey have been the foundation for advancement and commitment to healing and learning. I hope that all of you have learned what you needed to during your time at Western. As you move on to your first jobs, further studies, traveling around the world, or just taking a break. I know that when I was sitting in your seats just a year ago, my spirit was filled with wonder and anxiety at what is going to happen next. Just remember to believe in yourself, live authentically, take care of yourself, and trust the process. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story today, and congratulations to the class of 2023 on your momentous achievements.
Young O'Reilly, great words and great inspiration, a great story. And as he was talking about Mandy, I remembered Mandy in my days as well. Mandy's been a staple here at Western Indigenous Student Services, helping many students through many generations. The same with Kelly. Kelly's over here. She's been helping students for many generations as well. Having those friendly faces is truly a blessing, that when you can walk into the Indigenous Student Services and have that friendly face, that familiar face, that family face, means the world, especially when you might have come from a rough class, or you had a discussion in class that irked you or upset you, because we've all had those types of discussions, those uncomfortable discussions, those tough discussions in our classrooms. And so it was always great coming to ISC and having those familiar faces to support us through that work and through the work that we were doing in our schooling. I spent probably way more time at ISC than I did in class. I was a bad student. Nobody should ever take the way that I went to school as a model for education, because I spent way more time in ISC than I did going to class. I used to just come to school and sit at ISC and I'm not going to go to class this week. At this time, though, we're going to move into the presentation of stoles and gifts, and so we're going to introduce the presenters for those, and as soon as I get to so we'll call up at this time stole presenter Mandy Bragg, academic advisor, Indigenous Student Center at Western University. Gift presenters Dr. Christy Brissette, Vice Provost, Associate Vice President, and Dr. David Malloy, President of King's University College. Please come to the front. So first up of our list of graduates here, we have Nathaniel Ninham, Oneida Nation of the Thames, Bachelor's of Music with a Film Studies minor, honors specialization. Stole Yeah, keep going. And photos, if you want to take photos, there's time to take photos. They even got a photo booth set up over here, which is nice. I think. Give Nathaniel a round of applause. sticky papers. You know how you're not allowed to lick your fingers anymore because of COVID? You know, so when you're sitting in the grocery store and you're trying to get those flimsy little plastic bags together. Our next graduate, Olivia Paco, Eastern Woodland Métis Nation of Nova Scotia. Give her a round of applause. Bachelor of Medical Science with an honors specialization in interdisciplinary medical sciences, Stole color white. All right, give Olivia another round of applause. Miss Maggie Parkinson, Umjanung First Nation, Bachelor of Health Sciences, honors specialization. Give her a round of applause. Stole color white. Oh, take your pictures. I'm gonna slide over here. And get out of the pictures. Emma Pennell, Micmac of St. George's Bay, Mi'kmaq, Bachelor of Music, Performance, Voice with a minor in Indigenous Studies, Stole color white. Next up, Levi Terrio. I think Terrio? Is that okay? Terrio, Arrowland First Nation, Bachelor of Social Work, King's University College, Stole color white. That's it. Round of applause. Victoria Tacos, Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte, Bachelor of Social Work, King's University College, Stole color white. Mackenzie Catherine Bodner, Upper Cayuga, Masters in Public History, Stole color silver. E. Victoria Bomberry, Mohawk Nation from Six Nations of the Grand River, Masters of Arts in Geography, Stole color silver. Melanie Cormier, Bearskin Lake First Nation, Master of Professional Education and Educational Leadership, Stole color silver. Adrian Ingalls, Oneida Nation of the Thames, Doctor of Medicine, Stole color gold. Adrian wasn't able to join us, so we'll hold off on the gold presentation later. Excellent. Let's give all of our graduates another round of applause. We go to our presenters. Appreciate your time. At this time, actually, I'm going to flip the script a bit, and well, actually, we're going to turn it over to Amanda first. I'm checking my notes, so miigwech to the presenters, miigwech to the graduates, and I know Bearskin Lake. I know people. That's a small community. That's interesting. So Amanda Myers, I don't know what your official title is. You can tell us. They didn't write it down for me, so you're just Amanda Myers on a sheet of paper. Handwritten, even.
That's okay. That's okay. Master of all the things, I guess maybe. That means I have all the jobs at Western. Gite beshki kwendish na kaswab jishi indodim and shnabe minoa me tiendao. Bejo me de kwendao, moni wana kaning in Donjuba. My official title here is the director for the Indigenous Student Center. And as you know already, I'm an alumni from here, from Western, and did a few degrees here, did 3 degrees here, and so clearly I like to be here. And I just want to clarify something that, you know, we were very similar in age, so
Word.
Still are.
Where?
You know, during our studies, and Binigay was one of the first people that I met here who made me feel like I was part of the community as another student. And so, you know, that led me to the Medewan Lodge, which became an integral part of my life, and it still remains an integral part of my wellness here in academia, because I needed to have ceremony as part of my life to be able to do my academic work here. And so, you know I always think about that time and how much I grew, and that's part of why I took this role on. Because I see all our students come through and they have that questioning. And it doesn't matter how their age, their background, where they're at in life, they come to this place and they're questioning about who they are and what their time here will look like and be, and what will it be about. And I feel so grateful to be able to give that same feeling to them in their time here, to be a little bit of a part of their community, of their family, to make them feel loved and cared for and safe in this place so that they can be successful. And you know, teasing is a big part of that. If Binigay didn't tease me, I would be really worried. I would think, oh God, he's mad at me. But that's what we do at the Indigenous Student Center. And I'm so grateful for the staff that I get to work with every day, all of our team, our student staff and our regular staff, because what we consistently hear from students during and after their time here is that we helped them to gain success in all different ways. So I just want to really honor all of your hard work and say miigwech for everything that you gave to us, because we learn so much from you too. While you're here, we learn from you. We learn how to be better and how to do better every single year. So I'm really grateful for that experience each year, and so proud of you, and want you to know that we're always here for you. Always. When you leave this place, if you have more wondering, more questions, uncertainty, people reach out to us all the time, and we help them in whatever way we can. So I will leave it at that. I know that Myrna is going to close us out next, I think, and I don't know what this is. But I will leave it at that and say miigwech.
Congrats, Amanda. Actually, I want to switch the agenda up a little bit, because I want to turn it over to our drum at this time. before we move to our closing words from our elder, as I want to make sure that we do this honor song the right way for these graduates. So for this song, I'm going to have the graduates turn. You might be a little bit shy, but what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you stand up, and I'm going to have to use face the community, face your family that's here, and then everyone can rise with them in honor and appreciation of what they've accomplished and what they've completed here. So at that time, I'll want to turn over to the drum to do that appropriate honor song of these, of the achievement of these graduates and the work that they have done. You can step back a little bit if you don't want to be face to face, yeah. But it's a great thing that they've accomplished. And we have individuals completing their bachelor's, individuals completing their master's, individuals completing their doctoral studies. And these individuals will go, as we've already heard from Riley, will go back into our communities and will begin to make a difference, make an impact, right? Because we know there's much work to be done in our communities, whether it be in the urban settings, whether it be in the First Nation communities, the Métis communities, the Innu communities, that there's much work to be done. So at this time, I'll turn it over to our drum, the Eagle Flight Singers, to give this appropriate song. Seated at this time, and we'll call up our elder once again to give us those closing words. So before we break, though, as we offer these closing words, we want to encourage you that there is a to-go lunch. So I guess you're going to grab it on your way out. But feel free to take pictures. We're not going to throw it at you. Helen was like this. She was like this. We're not going to throw it at you as you go. But there is a to-go lunch. But you're welcome to stick around, take photos. There's a nice photo booth set up here. So, and then there's also a fire. Where's the fire? No fire?
No fire.
Too rainy.
Rainy.
Too rainy. Okay. All right.
Wow, this has been a most wonderful day. Really wonderful day for me and to see all of you. And just feel part of this community again. You know, community is very, very important. So it is with sadness, but it is also joy today. Because now part of your life another chapter has turned. And so you're moving on to another place. So I encourage you to stay connected to creation. I encourage you to make that daily connection to spirit. You know, I encourage when I talk to people that in the morning, before you get out of bed, don't just leap right out. Just take that few moments of time to talk to spirit and give thanks for who you are, what you have been doing, and make some intention for the day. It doesn't have to be a lot. 2 or 3 things. Then you do your breathing so that you make sure that you're all clean inside out. You do those things. Then you get up and start your day. But do that, because that will help you as you go into the future, wherever that is. And remember, I talked about that breathing, that breath work that you need to do. All of us need that, because we've all been impacted by colonization. We may go kicking and screaming and say, no, I haven't. But you really have to think about all of those things that happened to our relatives over a period of time. And that's the historic and ancestral trauma that we all carry, as much as we may not like to admit it, but it is there. So that's part of our journey too, and that's part of the journey of you that are graduating. It is still there until you get your vessel, and I'm saying the vessel of where we reside, until that becomes clean. But I do remind you that journey is here until you leave this creation. It's never done. You have to keep reminding yourself, why am I experiencing this at this time? What is it that I am learning? Because it's all about learning. It's all about letting go of the negative that we carry around inside us or on our shoulders, wherever it is. But that's part of that historic trauma and ancestral trauma that we all carry. So with those thoughts in mind, I encourage you to go back and breathe again for a few minutes while I close this session, whether it's afternoon or morning, whatever it is. So take a few moments to center yourself, and you will know by when you breathe in, you bring all of that goodness of creation to come in you. And then when you breathe out, you blow it out your mouth, in through the nose, blow it out the mouth, and you will find those places inside of you that have a little bit of blockage, and you'll feel them. You'll feel them inside of you. Then you'll say, I know what she's talking about. I have some work to do. And I do my work every day, and I also do my work every night when I go to bed. I review, what did I accomplish? What did I learn? If there is something that I need to take care of in my own being, then I make a note of that. Maybe I can't do it right now, but it may be just one word. Like maybe it's like fear. Maybe it's anxiety. Whatever it is, it's just one word. Then you dig inside yourself to understand where that came from, because there's a root cause. If it isn't in this lifetime, it's from your relatives, your ancestors, your historic trauma. It's all there. So I just encourage you. I don't say, I can't like that, but it is part of who we are. And it's a part of the journey that we all can take to encourage the ones coming behind us. They don't have to pick that up. They don't have to pick up that stress. They don't have to pick up that anxiety that is coming through our blood memory. But just a reminder. Abashumashamas, Ishkate Makasan Kwandij Nakas Mondo Dem, Bikajanan Dunjaba, Udawadmi Odawa Nishnabi Kwanda, Niswi, David. Ochimigwachikashanado, for this most wonderful day, for this most wonderful time for us to get together. I say Chimigwach to all of those ancient ones that have been watching over us, to all of those ones who are encouraging us and being there, and for us to know that all we need to do to get their help is ask and acknowledge that we need their help, and they are there. I say Chimigwach to you, I ask that you take care of all of these ones on their journey. Take care of them and be with them so that they get to know you from the inside out and the outside in, and that all of creation is here to help, so that we can move forward as a people, the original people of the lands, as one heart, one body, one mind, one soul, and one spirit, as we do our work, the work that began at the beginning of time. It will still be here for us to carry into the future. We encourage our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren to live that good life so that they can too bring their children, their grandchildren, and their great ones to a beautiful place on this creation. I say Chimigwech to you, Yakanada, all my relations.
Miigwech, Marina. And so with that, we'll ask for one more big round of applause for our graduates. That concludes our 2023 graduation ceremony. So I'm going to encourage you to take advantage of the photo booth over there. It looks fancy. It's got lights and stuff, but it looks fancy. But stick around, take some photos, ask your favorite staff to take photos with you, your favorite staff. No, I'm just kidding. And then grab some lunch. So miigwech everyone. We all want to go to our drum, to our elder, and to all of the community for being here, and for all the representatives. Miigwech, Yawangoa, Anishik, Ahu. You're free to go.